This is a KRQE Media Group special celebrating Hispanic Heritage, presented by Bueno Foods.
Hello and welcome to this KRQE Media Group special celebrating Hispanic Heritage. It started in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon B. Johnson and was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period starting on September 15th and ending on October 15th. It was enacted into law on August 17, 1988. Hispanic Heritage Month starts in the middle of September because the 15th marks the independence days of 5 Latin American countries: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. Mexico, Chile, and Belize follow shortly after on the 16th, 18th, and 21st. Panza llena, corazón contento, meaning full stomach, happy heart. It's not only a saying to show how important good food is, but it's a part of what Bueno Foods has relied on in becoming a giant in the Spanish food market. David Romero gives us a look at 70 years of success.
Está bueno, a saying in Spanish culture, not only signifies that something's good or going all right, but for the Baca family in Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's been very good, or bueno, for about 70 years.
In the late 1940s, my dad and his brothers came back from World War II, and they couldn't find a job in post-war Albuquerque, even though they had been educated on the GI Bill. So they actually started a small grocery store called the Ace Food Store.
Realizing they couldn't compete with big grocery stores moving in, the Baca brothers, Joe, Ray, and Agustin, they took their mother Filomena's recipes for tamales and burritos, along with finding a way to freeze green chili, and Bueno Foods was born.
We were actually the first to commercialize tortillas on the retail shelf in New Mexico. So all of those products actually have been, since the beginning, chili, tortillas, and tamales since the very beginning. And now we have over 150 different products.
From Texas to California, Ana Baca, the VP of Marketing for Bueno, says that the company's latest expansion will increase their freezer capability and the chance to store more green chili and spread to more grocery stores all throughout the Southwest.
I mean, that's what we've worked all our lives for, is to share our culinary heritage, this wonderful New Mexican culinary heritage, with as many people as we can.
But that path to success for the Baca brothers was not direct and didn't happen overnight without dealing with racism along the way.
Their father had always wanted to start his own business and to be in charge of his own destiny. And so for them, it was really important, let's make jobs for ourselves and let's make jobs for our community, so that all the while celebrating their Hispanic culinary traditions.
From 3 brothers with a dream to a team of 400 workers during their peak season, the Baca family is still showing how a little green, chili that is, and a magic recipe for good food and success, está bueno after all these years.
We just want to be a driving force of good in our community, and we just continue to do that through the jobs we provide and sharing our culinary heritage with as many people as we can.
For Hispanic Heritage, I'm David Romero.
A Central Texas father says his Mexican-American heritage taught him the value of caring for others, and that is exactly what he does with a famous Austin-based vodka brand. He shows Britt Moreno how Love Tito's is helping communities one cocktail at a time.
There's so much going on downtown, right? Everyone wants to be where the action is.
Folks spot the Tito sign and waltz in looking for something to wet their whistle. But instead, they find a cause that fills their hearts.
We're very passionate about that and have some great gear.
Love Tito's is a merchandise store filled with t-shirts, hats, and of course, some Austin flair.
So 100% of the net proceeds that from every purchase go back to our nonprofit organizations that we support.
Central Texas native Zach Flores is the Love Tito's National Philanthropic Program Manager.
Love Tito's, which is our philanthropic arm of the company, dedicated to turn spirits into love and goodness.
Flores says his Mexican-American upbringing led to this calling.
Having that strength of powerful women around you really does help shape and shift the way that you see the world. I was always raised to care for others that are less fortunate.
La Familia was his compass. His tight-knit family showed him how hard work and determination, coupled with compassion, could change things for the better.
Another local favorite of ours, a Mansa pet.
Now Flores serves on the board of I Live Here, I Give Here, and volunteers. The causes closest to him include providing fresh food to low-income neighborhoods, supporting local musicians and shelter animals, and encouraging other Latinos to dream big.
Helping provide any sort of resources that I can to uplift the next generation of Latino leaders.
Flores admits encouraging that next generation to become civically active is more important than ever now that he is a dad. His son Phoenix is 8 months old.
This is the greatest achievement of my life. I think I'm most excited knowing that I have the opportunity to shape this innocent life into hopefully a powerful community leader.
But until then, he says, people can make a difference now. One sip might just change a life.
With the support of our fans and following, we could, expand and provide impact together in our communities.
In 1995, Tito Beverage obtained the first legal permit to distill in Texas and created Tito's handmade vodka. Tito's is now nearly 8% of all vodka sales in the United States. And we are just getting started on this special. When we come back, we'll highlight an Albuquerque native who is a trailblazer and an owner in a Major League Baseball team. And later, we'll highlight a Hispanic musician who's using his ancestry to set himself apart and has him working with heavyweights in the business. An entrepreneur is not only defined as a business operator, but someone taking on greater than normal financial risks to do so. For Linda Alvarado, she not only gambled on success and jumping into careers dominated by men, but also as a Latina. David Romero has her story.
From designer, development, and owner of a large commercial construction company to becoming the first Hispanic female owner of a Major League Baseball franchise, Linda Alvarado has never let boundaries get in her way.
All of my life I've been told I don't look the part. I don't look like a commercial general contractor. I don't look like an owner of a Major League Baseball team. And some people say I don't look Hispanic.
For the young girl born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and growing up in a family of 5 brothers, Linda had to prove there was no such thing as a woman's job.
They didn't let us be identified either by our gender or ethnicity. So I played sports from the time I could walk, wrestled, and did all kinds of things with my brothers, and my mother encouraged it.
Working her way through college, it was the challenge of starting her own construction firm, which set Linda on a path to her first major accomplishment.
I got this crazy idea of starting my own business, which was really crazy. A Hispanic girl contractor. But I wanted to pursue this and started small.
What started small in 1976 became one of the biggest construction companies in the Southwest and made Linda the first female CEO to head a construction firm. Alvarado Construction Incorporated is responsible for large multi-million-dollar commercial developments like Bronco Stadium. The company, based in Denver, Colorado, now has offices in New Mexico, Arizona, and California. That still wasn't enough.
It was a very small group of guys and one girl. But the difference was, this is the first time that any Latino had been involved in a bid for Major League Baseball. And who would have thought the first Latino owner would be a Latina?
Linda became co-owner of the brand new Colorado Rockies Major League Baseball team. In her time with the team, Linda felt that the moment was right to help set better examples for Hispanics.
Well, it's proud to be an owner. I want to make certain that our players on the field are looked at as role models and motivating other Hispanics to say, wherever they choose to go.
Although her achievements have been stellar, Linda says that early on, she fought sexism and discrimination at almost every turn in a life and career that has not only broken glass ceilings and paving the way for others after her. Linda still believes that had she not taken any risks in her life, she wouldn't be where she is today.
We have to get in the game, have some fun, takes a risk, knowing that we can never get to second base if we keep our foot safely on first.
For Hispanic Heritage, I'm David Romero.
Lorain County in Ohio is home to one of the largest Latino populations in the state, but there has never been a wide-scale effort to document and to teach the history of their role in the area until now. A community partnership has led to what will hopefully be the first effort of many to celebrate the rich heritage 100 years after the first Latino immigrants came to the area. Alex Stokes shares their new projects.
When I was growing up, it was a hub of activity.
Vine Avenue is now a quiet road in South Lorain, but you can still hear echoes of what once was the epicenter of the city's Latino community.
There was a Mexican store owned by the Tenorio family, and why do I remember it? Because his sons were cute.
Eileen Torres holds fond memories of the street, established as a result of discrimination and anchored by the steel mill.
The Mexican community started out as the predominant community. My grandfather came here in 1921 from Mexico, recruited to work at the steel mill.
It is the story of Eileen's grandfather and thousands of other Latinos that the Lorain Historical Society is trying to tell in their new exhibit celebrating 100 years Latino history in Lorain, Ohio.
The Latino community was very underrepresented in what we have in our collection, in our story.
Executive Director Barbara Piscopo knew she couldn't tell it alone, and 2 years ago formed a collaboration with Oberlin College and El Centro, a nonprofit social services agency headed by Victor Leandri.
There's a story here that many people in this community doesn't know.
They brought in Latino community leaders to form a committee.
Our dreams are big. We want to in the future have a place where we can exhibit and display the history. So this is one of the steps to get there.
In 1947, U.S. Steel was looking for laborers after World War II. They hired 500 Puerto Rican men, and the population has only grown.
We're considered a predominant Puerto Rican community. We make 30% of the city is Latino, and 40-something% of the school system is Latino.
Torres, who was a Mexican folk dancer, remembers rehearsing and performing at the Puerto Rican home.
Sometimes the Mexican fiestas were held at the Puerto Rican home. So many things. I mean, we did fiestas at the Slovenian home. I mean, all the ethnicities had an interconnection.
But in the 1970s, the interconnection was severed as Vine Avenue structures were torn down due to urban renewal, and the part of the street that led to the steel mill was covered in grass.
It was like in the name of progress, communities were torn apart. And that's what happened to Vine Avenue.
The panels people will walk through at the Historical Society until the end of October were designed by Jesse Gardado.
It is a very emotional reflection of the past and hopefully a very positive reaction for the future.
There is a desire to see another hub of Latino businesses and culture emerge in Lorain, much like Vine Avenue once was.
So that we have a place to meet, greet, and network with others.
There's a voice that collectively we can have, that we can make a big impact in this city.
In Lorain, Alex Stokes, Fox 8 News.
The display will be up at the Historical Society in Lorain until October 31st, and there will be oral stories playing as well as an educational activity for the kids. The plan is to offer the portable exhibit to schools and other venues to help continue teaching this important part of history. Up next on Celebrating Hispanic Heritage, we head to Chicago to look at a musician who is tapping into his heritage for his success. Stefan Ponce is a Chicago-based producer who's worked with artists like Childish Gambino, Chance the Rapper, and Vic Mensa. He uses his Hispanic roots as inspiration and as guidance. Dan Ponce reports.
When coming up with new music, Stefan Ponce finds inspiration everywhere, and to him, it's always personal.
I used to think that I could only make music if I was feeling sad or happy, and I realized I was cheating myself for making music that way. And I can, you know, be optimistic to whenever the universe gives me the time, and that's when I try to make music the most.
Hold up, wait a minute, all good just a week ago.
He's behind some of the hottest collaborations with some of the hottest artists in the country, including Chance the Rapper, Childish Gambino, and Vic Mensa.
The best way how I like to work is in a more collaborative environment where it isn't just my idea or isn't just their idea.
Stefan is also a live DJ and a key player in Chicago's underground hip-hop scene, but he says he feels most comfortable working in the studio.
I love DJing and I love performing. I'm a performer, but I think now it gives me extreme anxiety.
Now in his 30s, Stefan has been making music since he was a teenager in Chicago, starting out by messing around on GarageBand on his computer. He lives in LA now, but returns to Chicago often to work on music and to visit his 2 young sons. He talks about growing up in a tough environment on the city's northwest side, but finding his way through music.
In the 90s, it was different, gangs, and I'm very fortunate to be making music, and all my uncles, when I was younger, were all gang members.
He says his parents' Mexican roots absolutely plays a big role in his identity, and his love for Latin music has greatly influenced the music he makes today.
I don't know if you've ever seen a salsa band really kill it. It's amazing and it's beautiful. And I think I try to always consider that when making music and how that translates live.
With new projects always in the works, he has some good advice for up-and-coming artists of all kinds.
Man, fail miserably, and you're gonna know what works for you. I learned so much from what was going wrong before things started to go kind of right.
Dan Ponce, WGN News.
When we continue with our KRQE Media Group special celebrating Hispanic heritage, we talk with the Golden Boy and his heritage and his efforts for a comeback in the ring. Stay with us. Boxing legend Oscar de la Hoya is known for his skills in the ring, but the champ's killer instincts have transformed him into a business-savvy entrepreneur. Sam Rubin caught up with the famous fighter at Golden Boy headquarters.
The Golden Boy, Oscar de la Hoya!
As a fighter, he is known all around the world, but Oscar de la Hoya would be the first to tell you it all started here in East Los Angeles. When you go into the ring, you have the American flag and you have the Mexican flag.
Yeah.
Why are both flags important to you?
My heritage. My father and my mother, they came over to this country for a better life, basically. At a young age, they stationed themselves in East LA. You know, I was born here. I'm very proud of it. I was always a very, very proud American because there's no country better than the U.S., that's for sure. But I'm just very proud of my roots. I will be anywhere in the world, and anybody can ask me, where are you from? I will always say from East LA, the kid from East LA.
And that kid from East LA has gone on to do some pretty big things. 10 world titles.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means a lot of sacrifice.
Olympic gold medal winner.
Everything. Olympic gold medal winner. It gave me everything that I have today.
And what he has today is an empire. His company, Golden Boy Promotions, the Oscar de la Hoya Foundation, giving back to underprivileged youth in the community he grew up in, and lucrative real estate deals. 10 stories, 12 stories?
This is 15.
So when you look at a 15-story building on Wilshire Boulevard, and it's all mine, what does that feel like?
I have to pinch myself like every day.
Oh, look at this!
Fans were pinching themselves when Oscar announced he was getting back into the ring after retiring 13 years ago. All right, I imagine when you're in the ring and you're training later today, that you feel at home in the ring. You've been in the ring for a long time. You know you know the sweet sides.
Since I was 5 years old.
We're in your executive office. When you sit behind that chair, what does that feel like? You're pretending, or you feel like I belong here?
Well, no, you know, truthfully, I don't know, I feel like this is all a dream. Walking into my office, looking at the emblem, the Golden Boy on the building, and when I'm sitting here, it's wow, this kid from East LA. This kid from East LA, dreams do come true.
A COVID sidelined De La Hoya's comeback, but did not knock him out. The Golden Boy plans to hit the ring later on this year. Thank you for joining us for this KRQE Media Group special, Hispanic Heritage. There are a lot more stories on our website. That's krqe.com. Just look for the section, Hispanic Heritage.